What is the truth? This is what all of this is about. The only problem is, how are we going to address the truth if the truth is ineffable? If it's something you can't describe, if there's no words to define, no words close enough to comprehend the unmanifested. And so all that can be done is that we can address the nature of the truth rather than the truth itself. Even if someone is within the perception of the truth, within the awareness of the truth, they cannot give it to someone else. The truth cannot be formulated in one line. It cannot be put into words, into a picture, into any form of physical expression, into any means of communication. It really cannot. But the paradox is that at the same time, existence itself is in constant reverberation to the truth. It's constantly vibrating to the truth. Everything that happens in truth, whether witnessed or not. And so all that we are going to do here is we are going to work on trying to shift ourselves into the perspective of witnessing the truth. So let's take an analogy. Let's see how everything in all of existence is in constant expression. Absolutely everything in life is in constant expression of itself. When looking at animals, they are constantly expressing what needs to be expressed in the moment. Every human being is constantly expressing what is felt, what crosses their mind. But of course, every expression can also be looked at as a vibration, a reverberation. And so when looking at a tree or anything natural, such as a plant, a mountain, these aspects of nature, they are constantly in reverberation, constantly expressing what is being expressed. Let's not describe what is being expressed just yet. But as we said earlier, an expression is a form of communication. And so we are capable to be sensitive enough to understand an expression. So if we enter a room that's full of joyful people bursting in happiness and joy, we start to pick up this expression in the atmosphere. Likewise, if we enter a room where everyone is sad, everyone is mourning something, we feel this energy of sadness. And so, the same with interacting with any individual. If we really put ourselves in a place where we become sensitive enough to tune into what they are expressing, what is reverberating from them, we start to understand this individual because we become this expression. So why do you think that's recommended to spend a lot of time in nature? Because nature is constantly expressing itself. It's constantly reverberating on a certain frequency, let's say. And so when spending time in nature, the individual who allows themselves to become in tune with nature, become in tune with the expression of nature, becomes part of that frequency. Now, all of existence is a large amount of micro expressions in a big macro expression. So, rather than getting hooked up by these small micro expressions, let's tune in to the macro expression of the entire existence. And yes, spending time in nature has no option but to be part of this macro expression, will do the job, or can do the job. This is why people meditate. This is why people introspect. This is why people engage in certain activities, because it puts them in that same tune. This is why we take walks. And so the truth is constantly being expressed. Always. Every single moment. In this moment. The truth has always been there. And will always be there. The truth is not bound by time. And so this means that if you can come up with the truth in your mind, if you can think of the truth, if you can use the movement of thoughts, which is memory, which is basically the past, we are not perceiving the truth. The truth is only in the moment. It is only here and now. So this is why we try to put down the lenses. The lenses of thought, the lenses of identity, because they alter the perception. At this point, it's interesting to look at religions. Every single religion that has sprung into existence is a truth, but the reason because of the slight differences, and clearly we can see that the fundamentals are the same. We can see that across most religions, if not all, that you should not hurt one another, that you should take care of your neighbor, you should be forgiving, and it's along those lines. Every religion is the same truth, but the slight differences is because it's being expressed by a different vehicle of expression. It's being expressed by a different individual with a different identity, with a different personality, with a different accumulation of memories. And the reason for this is because the description of the truth can only be done by using the means that has been accumulated in the past. And so this is why we get the different religions the way they are. So essentially arguing that one religion is better than another is pretty much futile. It's like arguing my idea is better than yours. It's not about what is better or worse. It's not about what is good or bad. Let's drop these things. These things keep us entangled in the field of thoughts. Let's transcend beyond them and really start to tune into the expression of existence itself. But this can't be done so easily. it can only be done when an individual allows themselves to be still. They say that only when you empty the cup can you fill the cup. If the cup is full, you can't allow for the perception of this expression that is taking place in every moment, the expression that has always been there before us and will be there after us. The expression that we are, whether we witness it or not, whether it's observed or not. So if, rather than renouncing religions, or rather than wearing a religion like a jacket and fully identifying with one, let's dig into each one and learn from them. Let's learn from these characters who were able to perceive. Let's go straight to the source of what is being expressed. Let's not get too hooked up by what is being expressed. Let's go to the source. Every personality may be different, and every personality may be expressing the truth differently, using different memories and ideas and perspectives. But essentially the source will always be the same. Because if you get, let's say, 5 individuals who have seen a tree, if these 5 individuals have to express what this tree looked like to the masses, each individual will draw a unique tree. Essentially, the source of the inspiration is the same. It's the same tree, but it's just portrayed differently. So let's not look at the difference between the display of the tree or the description of the tree. Let's go straight to the tree. Because usually on the same canvas on which the tree has been drawn by these people, there is a roadmap that takes you straight to the tree. If you come from a background of any faith, I promise you do not need to look any further. It's right where you are. And if you are from a background of no faith, I promise you do not need to look any further. It's right where you are. So, before wrapping things up, I will share one final analogy. And this analogy is somewhat famous, it's been used before. Imagine you are in a room, and this room is closed. There's no windows, no doors, and all there is this room, and you are in this room for eternity. Now the room has no light. It is pitch black darkness. You can't see a thing. You cannot see yourself, but you know you are there. Now, somewhere over time, you've been told or you've heard that there's a snake in the room, a poisonous snake, that once it bites you, you die, and it could bite you at any moment. Imagine what it would feel like to be in this room. And so this can push the individual into frustration. But you can only get so frustrated until you start to question existence itself. What's the point of being here worried to death? What is all this? And usually every single analogy you'll ever hear from me will come down to what is all this? And so the wonder will push the individual so far into the unknown until all of a sudden a flash of light enters the room. And it's only a split second, but this split second is enough to fill the entire room of light and enough to see everything in the room. It's a small room, so there isn't much to see. But you also get to see the snake. But the beautiful part here is that the snake turns out to be a rope all along. It was never really a snake. Imagine how you live now. You're living in utmost ease. You're at peace. You now walk on this planet, knowing why you walk on this planet. Walking on this planet where every step becomes that macrocosmic expression, rather than every step being as quick of a step as possible so that you need to be somewhere, or a micro expression, rather than every step being a step of drama of what happened yesterday or whatnot. Every step becomes a step of liberation. I shall wrap it up here. But I'd like to hear from you guys. We take walks to tune into the macrocosmic expression of existence, to feel and perceive the truth. But what do you do? Do you meditate? Do you engage in something creative, such as writing or drawing? I'd like to hear from you. Otherwise, see you on the next walk.